Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima Nikaya number 65, which is the Bhaddali Sutta, or the Sutta to Bhaddali. And the location is Savatthi in Jetta's Grove in the Anathapindika Park. And the people mentioned, or who are there, is Buddha, Buddha's followers, and one of the long-established followers, the Venerable Bhaddali. Now, Buddha is addressing his followers, saying that he eats at a single session, and by doing so he is free from illness and affliction, enjoys lightness, strength and comfortable abiding. So this is obviously predating the Patimokkha, the rules of the Sangha. So this is one thing that Buddha's putting forward. And one of his followers, the Venerable Bhaddali, says he is not willing to do this as it would make him worried and anxious. So my thought on that was, well, it's a bit like going on first meditation retreat and the instructions come through, there will be no eating after noon or midday. Anyway, Buddha responds, then eat one part of the food where you are invited and bring away one part to eat later. Bhaddali replies that he's not willing to do that either, as it will still make him worried and anxious. And as a result of this conversation, during the whole of the training period, during the 3 months rain retreat, Bhaddali did not go near to Buddha. Now, towards the end of the rains retreat, some bhikkhus were making a robe for Buddha prior to his resumption of wandering. Bhaddali comes across the monks while they are making the robes, and the monks suggest to Bhaddali that he makes his peace with Buddha before Buddha resumes his wandering. So Bhaddali goes to Buddha and asks for forgiveness for refusing to comply with the training precept. Buddha admonishes Bhaddali, like a fool, confused and blundering, you declared your refusal to comply with the training, and this is now known to all who were here for the rains retreat, bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, lay followers, those from other sects. This effect was not recognized by you, a leading follower of the recluse Gautama. So Buddha's not only upset by the refusal, but by the effect on the Sangha and community. Bhaddali again apologizes and asks Buddha for his forgiveness. Buddha responds, well, what do you think, Bhaddali? Suppose a bhikkhu here, one who is completely liberated, says, say I told him to lay down in the mud so I could walk across him. Would I ever instruct a follower to do that? No, replied Bhaddali. Buddha repeats the question, but each time about this laying down in the mud, he refers to a monk who is at a different stage of development. And according to Sutta number 70, the Kittagiri Sutta, there are 7 stages of development. And the stages are 1, liberated in both ways, that's fully liberated, liberated by wisdom, 3, a body witness, 4, 1 attained to view, 5, 1 liberated by faith, 6, a Dhamma follower, 7, a faith follower. For each one, Buddha states, Bhaddali, think of a bhikkhu at this stage of development. Suppose I told him, come bhikkhu, lie here in the mud like a plank so I can walk across you. What would the bhikkhu do? Would he walk across himself? Would he dispose his body otherwise, or would he say no? And each time Bhaddali replies, he would say no. So, says Buddha, when you refused to comply, were you liberated in both ways, liberated by wisdom, a body witness, 1 attained to view, 1 liberated by faith, a Dhamma follower, or a faith follower? None of these, replies Bhaddali. Were you not, Buddha asks, just empty, hollow and mistaken? "Yes," replies Bhaddali. "Please forgive my transgression." And I think, as an aside, I think that at this point Buddha's making the point that he does not give his followers pointless instruction. The edict on eating in a single session is, as Buddha states, to be free from illness and affliction, to enjoy lightness, strength and comfortable abiding. So in the example stated, Buddha is pointing out he would not ask any of his followers, no matter what their stage of development, to perform an unnecessary and pointless act. Hence he's disappointed with Bhaddali, and that's why he's chiding Bhaddali. So anyway, to continue, Buddha forgives Bhaddali his transgression, as Bhaddali has understood his transgression, and it shows growth in the understanding of his understanding of the Dhamma. Buddha continues, even a follower goes into seclusion to achieve a superhuman state. If he does not follow the training fully and has to be censured, he will not realize the state. However, a follower who does follow the teaching and goes into seclusion and is not censured, he realizes a superhuman state. I just want to do an insert here, because on rereading this sutta, although I tend to interpret this part as being that don't do as I say and you won't reach the right stage of the superhuman state, but you could also interpret this meaning that if the person goes into seclusion and has doubt about the Dhamma, then they're going to be thinking more of the Dhamma and interpreting the Dhamma and worrying about the Dhamma and so on and so forth, than of actually going into full concentration. So that's another thought I had about this passage. So it's not so much saying if you don't do what I say you won't reach a superhuman state. It's more if you're obsessed with worrying and doubt about the Dhamma, then you won't be concentrating enough to reach a superhuman state. So I just thought I'd add that in for clarity, or my clarity. Due to the following training, he will enter the first jhana, and then the sutta goes on to describe progress through the jhanas, with recollection of past lives, passing away and reappearance of beings. The bhikkhu understands as it actually is, with a mind liberated from the taint of sense desires, from the taint of being, and from the taint of ignorance. Birth is destroyed. This is how it is with one who completes the training in the teacher's Dhamma. Bhaddali then asks, why is it that some bhikkhus are repeatedly admonished and some bhikkhus are not admonished? Buddha responds that it depends upon the reaction of the bhikkhu when he is admonished. If he leads the talk aside, shows disturbance, hate and bitterness, does not comply, he does not say, let me so act that the community will be satisfied, then it would be better that the matter is not quickly settled. So probably handled more gently. On the other hand, if the offender, when corrected, does not prevaricate, lead the talk aside, or show disturbance, hate or bitterness, he proceeds rightly. He complies, he clears himself and says, let me so act, the bhikkhu community will be satisfied. With this bhikkhu, then any matter of litigation can be settled quickly. This applies to a bhikkhu, whether he be a chance offender or a constant offender. So again, I take from this that it's not so much let the punishment fit the crime, but let the punishment fit the person, which is quite an interesting take on how to administer justice. He goes on. Also, there may be a bhikkhu who is progressing by a measure of faith and love. Let him not lose that measure of faith and love, which he may do if we take action against him repeatedly and admonish him. It is like a man who has only one eye. His friends and family would guard that one eye. Let him not lose that one eye. So too the bhikkhu who progresses by faith and love alone, let him lose that measure of faith and love. Let him not lose that measure of faith and love, which he may do if we repeatedly admonish him. So, good point. And then it goes on, that is why some bhikkhus are repeatedly admonished and some are not. Lost my place now. Some bhikkhus are not. And carrying on, Bhaddali then asks, why is it then that when there were fewer training rules and more monks and bhikkhus attained final knowledge, and when there are now more training rules and fewer bhikkhus have become established with final knowledge? So Bhaddali seems to be asking that with the increase in rules, there seems to be less attainment of final knowledge by the bhikkhus. Buddha replies, that is how it is, Bhaddali. When people are wavering, when the true Dhamma is disappearing, then there are more training rules required, and there will be fewer bhikkhus established in final knowledge. The teacher only makes known a training rule when a taint becomes manifest in the Sangha. So it doesn't come with preloaded with rules, it's more as the Sangha behaves, so more rules become apparently needed to be made. And these things that are the basis for taints only become manifest when the Sangha has achieved greatness, has achieved fame, great learning and renown. There were a few of you, Bhaddali, when I taught about the Dhamma through the simile of the young thoroughbred colt. Do you remember that, Bhaddali? No, Venerable Sir, replies Bhaddali. And why is that? Asked Buddha. Venerable Sir, I have long been one who did not fulfill the Buddha's training. Buddha responds, this is not the only cause or reason. By understanding your mind with my mind, I have long known thus, when I am teaching the Dhamma, this misguided man does not heed it, does not give it attention, does not engage with it all his mind. Does not engage it with all his mind, does not hear the Dhamma with eager ears. Even so, I will teach you about the Dhamma through the simile of the young colt. Suppose a clever horse trainer introduces the bit, that's the thing that goes in the horse's mouth, to an unbroken horse. Because the colt has never worn a bit before, the colt contorts, writhes, vacillates, but through constant repetition and practice, the colt settles down. Once peaceful, the horse trainer introduces other training, like keeping in step or running in a circle, galloping, charging on command. Again, because this is not natural to the colt, he contorts, writhes and vacillates. But through constant repetition and gradual practice, he becomes peaceful in his actions. When the colt has become peaceful, the horse trainer further rewards the colt with a rubbing down and grooming. When a fine colt possesses these qualities, he is worthy of a king. So too, Bhaddali, when a bhikkhu possesses similar qualities, he is worthy of a gift, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, reverential salutation, an unsurpassed field of merit for the world. And what are these qualities? The qualities are right view of one beyond training, and one beyond training is defined as being a person fully trained like a arahant. And the other qualities are the right intention of one beyond training, the right speech of one beyond training, the right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. That's the Eight Noble Truths of one who is beyond training. And Buddha also adds in right knowledge pertaining to arahantship and right deliverance from all defilements. This is what Buddha said, and Venerable Bhaddali was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. And so ends Majjhima Nikaya number 65. Thanks for watching.